Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Whether you're new to mass transit or you've been using it in a while for a production, and based on recent survey results, that's a lot of you. I mean, more than 90% have had production applications for more than a year. So it's important to understand that mass transit is a distributed application framework, and it's made to build reliable distributed applications. And when we talk about reliable, we're talking about the use of a message broker that has durable message delivery. And it gives us this capability to recover in the case of downstream outages or errors processing messages, anything of that nature that happens in kind of that production scenario. In development, we just wipe everything and start over. But in production, we don't have that luxury. Messages are transactions, and we need to be able to recover and process those as our applications stay up and running so that we build trust with our consumers, our users, whomever is using the application. So to address this, we had to step back and look at what features are available in the broker. And if you look at the mass transit documentation, it covers this a little bit. But typically we say, oh, you can go to RabbitMQ, you can use shovels, you can use the ServiceBus Explorer in the Azure portal. These tools, they're usable, and we wanted to kind of come up with a way to show how to do this thing. And so we've built a new demo application, and this is in collaboration with Particular Software to show how recoverability in an application can be done and provide some new tooling to mass transit users that will be able to support this in an operational capacity beyond what's available today. So let's jump in and look at the demo. The demo's on GitHub. It's called the Mass Transit Showcase Demo, and it's in the show notes down below. You can see a link to download, clone the demo, and run it yourself. It is completely standalone. You can run it in Docker out of the box. It's made to run with RabbitMQ. So just follow the README notes and jump in, and you can see how to launch it. You can see this showcase application is actually multiple endpoints with a front end. That's actually pretty cool. We'll jump into that in a second. But we have multiple endpoints: sales, billing, shipping, and all of these are collaborating using whichever message broker you configure. The instructions show how to run it with like Azure Service Bus versus RabbitMQ. I'm using Rabbit because I want to run everything local, and that's kind of how I want it to go. So I have the demo app up and running, and I'm going to bring it up. It's really kind of slick. It's built with SignalR. It's communicating to multiple services that are running in Docker. The message dispatch is all done by sending SignalR messages from the front end to the back end. So a lot of cool modern application development stuff in this demo versus just your basic Swagger UI that I normally put together. So we're kind of in a luxury zone here. We've got a lot of cool stuff going on. So to start off, I've got everything up and running. I'm going to go ahead and just click this Run Scenario button. And what this is going to do is it's going to produce some messages, and we can see how they correlate through the different sales, billing, shipping. Shipping. Oh, bad. We got some bad news here. It looks like we had some issues processing some messages in the shipping side. And today, if you were using mass transit out of the box, we'd tell you to go look at RabbitMQ. So if I go and look at RabbitMQ, you can see I have 4 error queues now created, and those messages have errors in them. Well, if we go and look at the ship order error queue, we can go to the get messages and say get message, and we can see, oh, well, here's a message. It failed, the consumer type, the stack trace, the fault message, all the details, the input queue, all of the things that I would need to know to troubleshoot and figure out where that error occurred is available in those headers in RabbitMQ. And that's a lot of times enough to say, oh yeah, we had a down endpoint, everything was kind of blown up. We'll just bring it back together and we'll reprocess these. And so we may say, oh, we'll go into the shovel, just create a destination queue. In this case, it's the sales order, ship order queue. So we may want to just say, oh, well, I'll just come in here and put ship order and hit move messages, and all those messages will get moved back into the processing queue. But is that necessarily what we want to do? We have all these queues, and a lot of them around here: prepare order, process order. They're all quorum queues on RabbitMQ. Everything is cool there. But we want to kind of figure out what we want to do with those. And while that experience works, it's not probably the best experience, but it is passable. It is usable, and it helps a lot of people. So now let's bring another piece of software into the fold. Through a collaboration, like I said, with Particular Software. One of the things people come and ask is like, NServiceBus versus Mass Transit, which one should I use? Both NServiceBus and MassTransit are frameworks that let you build message-based applications that run on top of various brokers. Particular has a number of other applications that they sell that are part of their particular service platform. And those really give you that kind of error handling thing. So I'm going to introduce that today, and I'm going to show how that can work now with MassTransit applications. So the first thing I have to do is I have to bring up the missing piece that I had turned off, and that is the MassTransit connector for the particular service platform. It's a new piece of software. It's in early access at this point, and we'll have links about how to get more information both in the demo and through various show notes at the bottom. But what this is going to do, and if you've been watching the screen instead of listening to me yammer on, the ready messages in my error queues are now gone. They are no longer there. They've been pulled out of those error queues and been brought into the particular service platform. So here I'm looking at my failed messages, and I can see all of those messages that failed. I can see the details on them. Here's the call stack. I can look at the headers. The same headers that we saw in RabbitMQ are there. I can also just look at the message body if I want to see what was there, see what I ordered. It looked like I ordered a red mambin, which I have no idea what that is, but somebody tried to order it. The real glaze comes on top of this whole donut when I start to click on failed message groups, though. Now I can see things in a context that makes a lot more sense than looking at individual messages. We can see that we had a sales processing exception. There are 3 messages that met this criteria, and those 3 messages are shown here. Now I can come back and I can say, oh, well, we know we had a system glitch, we had a network outage. I want to come in and request that these messages be retried. So I'm going to come in and say retry those messages. And while I'm at it, I'm just going to retry them all because, we know the system was acting weird. We have some predefined simulated exceptions that happen. So we're going to fire all those requests off. We're going to let that run, and then we're going to go back to our demo here. And we can see our timestamps of when we originally placed this order. I think it was at 11/20/19 that we first kicked things up. Now we're starting to see some other messages come in. So let me scroll down a little bit here. And you can see, oh, here 5 minutes later, I've got some successful retries. And the demo's been built to, kind of show these retries and kind of pop this stuff up. So you can see we had successful retries on shipping. The particular service platform injects some headers into the retried messages so that we can know that they're being retried. And there's also MassTransit headers in there that say, hey, this failure happened, this is a retry, and it provides some hinting to the application to know if it's doing things a second time. So you can see successful retry, build, after successful retry of order placed message. You're seeing a number of different descriptive things around here as things got better. And the system healed up. And how do we know the system healed up? Well, we still don't have anything in our error queues, but if we go back into the particular service platform, we can dismiss these messages. But we can also see that there are no longer any failed messages that need our attention. So, ops work is done. They can go back to sleep at 2 o'clock in the morning or wherever it was that they woke up when the pager went off and, disrupted their sleep. So really kind of a neat integration. It is like I said, it's a new connector that pulls those messages in from those error queues. And it's been built in a way that it understands MassTransit's headers. So the important thing to point out when looking at this code and looking at this code base of this sample app, it's just MassTransit. You can see we have, the different configurations like using RabbitMQ. If we go over to program, we can see it's just a standard add MassTransit. There isn't anything special that we have to add to our applications to do this. So you can plug this platform into an existing application and it can start reading those error queues and looking at those messages and making it so you can process that data. So pretty easy add-on to an existing application if you're already using MassTransit. And as we've said a couple times, there's going to be an early access to this. You can try it out for a limited time for free. If you look at the bottom, you can see I'm using, a demo version of it, or I have a trial key that, hasn't expired yet. So after you use it for a little time, you can get a pass to get an extended trial, to get some production support and run this and, kind of go forward and kind of slow roll that out or soft launch that. So that's kind of the demo. That's how it works. As you know, it's easy to pull it down and try it yourself. All of the particular service platform code is in Docker containers as part of that Docker Compose. So just follow the instructions. There's this really long command, but if you run it in the source folder after you clone, it'll bring everything up, it'll pull everything down, and makes it really easy to kind of try it out. So, it's it's nice to, in the .NET ecosystem, there's MassTransit, there's NServiceBus, there are other message-based solutions out there that bring some of these capabilities. But when you're talking about, being able to operationally monitor and run these applications, bringing this, this platform in such that it can work with MassTransit and provide the operations or DevOps teams some tooling to manage, when things go sideways and take advantage of the fact that these are written in durable queues, these transactions are not lost, they can be reprocessed, and we can recover our system from an outage. It's really great for everyone. And, I've known Udi Dahan, the founder of Particular Software. I've known him for 17 years. We keep in touch on a regular basis. This collaboration is just, a continued effort to bring these capabilities and make it so .NET developers are able to build, reliable distributed applications successfully using the tools that they like. And from the survey results so far, a lot of people really like using MassTransit. So it's great to, have this opportunity and bring it together to everyone. So with that, I will bring up one more thing. There's a link down in the show notes, but we are doing a giveaway as well as part of, launching this new capability. And there are a number of things you can win. You can win, the messaging and .NET course that's available. You can win a 2-hour session with me to do like an architectural review of your application. These are live virtual Zoom sessions that we can meet with your architects team, developers, whomever. Go over your application, answer questions, make sure we're doing things in a way that is, idiomatic or the way MassTransit likes to work. And then there's also a production license that's being given away. So the link is in the show notes. Definitely click on that, enter your information, and you get a chance to win that. With that, download the demo, see what's next, ask more questions. Hit us up in the Discord, hit us up in the chat rooms, follow the links on the demo. Everything you need is there. And enjoy. We'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.